She won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from an easy balls.
When Sabalenka lost the French Open final to Gauff, it reveals a common psychological trap that makes us poor losers. According to cognitive psychology, it's called self-serving bias. Our brain's tendencies to attribute our failures to external factors while attributing other success to luck rather than skill. This bias is processed in the dorsal medial prefrontal cortex, which activates when our ego feels threatened, essentially protecting our self-image at the cost of accurately assessing the reality. Here's the graceful defeat protocol that champions use to turn losses into learning opportunities. First, implement a cooling off period before public statements. Emotional overwhelm clouds judgments and leads to statements that focus on self-protection rather than sportsmanship. Next, deliberately credit your opponent's strengths before analyzing your own mistakes. This conscious choice overrides the brain's natural self-serving bias and demonstrates both humility and accurate performance assessment. Finally, conduct a private post-match analysis while maintaining respect for the competition and opponent. This principle extends far beyond tennis. Your immediate response to defeat reveals your character and determines whether you build bridges or burn them with others. Remember, great competitors aren't those who never lose. They're those who lose with such grace that others respect them more in defeat than in victory. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. Which one would you choose? The quick digital high or the full body natural experience that keeps giving? According to neuroscience, while both experiences activate your brain's reward centers, they do so in fundamentally different ways. Digital experiences like Temple Run trigger rapid dopamine hits, but they're short-lived and often leave you craving for more. In contrast, real-life activities like trail running create what scientists call a neurochemical cascade, not just dopamine, but also serotonin, endorphins, and BDNF, the brain's growth hormone, leading to sustained mood elevation and actual brain development. Here's the natural dopamine protocol that champions use to optimize their mental well-being. First, identify your digital dopamine triggers and create alternatives. For every screen-based pleasure you enjoy, find a real-world activity that gives you similar excitement. Next, commit to the 20-minute rule. It takes about 20 minutes of continuous physical activity for your brain to release its full spectrum of feel-good chemicals. Finally, track both experiences honestly. Notice how you feel during and, more importantly, hours after each activity. The gap in lasting satisfaction will surprise you. This applies whether you're seeking motivation, fighting anxiety, managing stress, or simply pursuing happiness. The natural path creates sustainable results, while digital shortcuts often leave you emptier than before. So the next time you reach out for your phone for that quick dopamine hit, ask yourself, could I give my brain the real dopamine experience it's actually craving? Remember, real life will always win because it's not just playing the game, it's becoming the player you were meant to be. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. This batsman reacted to a perceived unfair no white ball call with bat throwing and positioning himself far outside the wicket, revealing something fascinating about handling officiating decisions. According to sports psychology, perceived injustice triggers an immediate emotional response, flooding our system with stress hormones that can disrupt performance for up to 15 minutes. Research shows that elite performers develop what's called influence management, understanding that energy spent trying to change unchangeable decisions actually diminishes your focus on the next play. Here's the official's decision protocol that champions use. First, give yourself a 3-second emotional window. Briefly acknowledge your frustration, then consciously close that window. Next, ask a simple question. Can I change this call? If yes, use proper channels like a calm appeal. If not, immediately accept it and focus on what's next. Finally, reset to performance mode. Redirect your complete focus to the next opportunity rather than dwelling on the perceived injustice. Even Dhoni's expressionless face in this moment says it all. Champions have already moved on before the argument is even finished. The batsman finally resumed playing without being able to change what had happened and was also fined 25% of his match fee. This applies beyond cricket, whether facing biased feedback at work, unfair treatment in teams, or any situation where you feel wrong but need to maintain effectiveness. So the next time you face a call that feels unfair, ask yourself, am I responding in ways that improves my next opportunity, or am I still fighting the last one? Remember, champions don't waste energy fighting the unchangeable. They master controlling their response to it. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. This 14-year-old's incredible IPL performance has turned into a nightmare for children. Listen to what's happening across family conversations and practice sessions. Look at Vaibhav, he's just 14. What have you done? Suddenly, a celebration becomes a weapon against every young athlete working just as hard, but without the same platform, opportunities, or early success. This isn't motivation, it's a confidence destroyer. According to neuroscience, these upward social comparisons trigger activity in the brain's anterior insula, the region associated with negative emotions and pain. Your brain literally processes these comparisons as a psychological injury. Here's the comparison shield protocol to protect confidence and nurture authentic development. First, for parents and coaches, stop using other athletes as measuring sticks. Vaibhav's journey involves specific circumstances, support systems, and opportunities that cannot be replicated. Even seemingly positive comparisons, like "you could be the next Vaibhav," create unhealthy pressure. Next, for athletes feeling compared, write down your unique strengths, qualities, and the specific steps you're taking towards your goals. This creates a personal standard of progress nobody else can take away from you. And finally, for everyone else, replace comparison with curiosity. Instead of "why aren't you achieving what they are?" ask "what can we learn from their journey while honoring yours?" So the next time someone compares you to today's prodigy, remember that your worth isn't measured against someone else's timeline. It's discovered through your unique path and potential. Champions aren't made by matching someone else's journey. They're forged by mastering your own. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. When 5-time Champions League winner Carlo Ancelotti signals for calm when everyone else is celebrating early, it reveals something powerful about the psychology of finishing strong. According to neuroscience, when you're close to victory, your brain's reward system activates prematurely, releasing dopamine that can derail your focus when you need it the most. Research shows that this premature celebration triggers what psychologists call a completion bias, when your mind unconsciously relaxes effort before the task is truly complete, opening the door to costly mistakes. Here's the finish line protocol that champions use. First, recognize your brain's tendency to celebrate too soon. When you feel that excitement rising in crucial moments, that's your signal to refocus. Next, channel that anticipatory energy back into process focus, like watching the ball, following through your strokes, and staying in the moment rather than looking at the scoreboard. Finally, define clear mental completion signals of what marks true victory, whether it's the final point, the referee's whistle, or the last puck dropping, specific to your sport. And avoid celebration until that specific moment arrives. Respect the sport by respecting these final moments. They're still part of the game. This applies whether you're closing out a championship match, delivering a critical presentation to executives, or completing a major project. The final moments often determine ultimate success. So the next time you feel victory within reach, remember that feeling is precisely when champions double down on focus rather than relaxing it. Celebrate when it's truly done, not a moment sooner. Don't give the universe or your competition a chance to steal your focus or your victory, because champions aren't defined by how they start races, but how they cross finish lines. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. As Rafael Nadal announced his recent retirement, he left behind not just 22 Grand Slam titles, but a masterclass in what truly makes a champion. According to sports psychology, what separates legends from champions isn't just skill, but how they approach victory. When our brain experiences success, it typically triggers ego-protective responses. Yet, Nadal consistently redirected this towards humility. Research shows that process-focused athletes, those who concentrate on improvement rather than outcomes, demonstrate greater longevity and resilience. Nadal embodied this when he told BBC his ambition wasn't trophies but daily excellence. Here's the champion character protocol that made Nadal truly exceptional. First, practice radical humility. Despite defending Federer repeatedly, Nadal consistently praised him as the best, understanding that greatness isn't diminished by acknowledging others. Next, respect your craft completely. Nadal never broke a racket in his professional career because his family told him that it would disrespect children who couldn't afford one, showing that reverence extends beyond victory. Finally, stay process focused. Concentrate on each point, each practice, each moment, rather than future accomplishments or past glories. This applies beyond tennis, whether in professional pursuits, personal relationships, or any passion. These principles create not just success, but meaningful impact. So ask yourself, how can you bring Nadal-like humility, respect, and process focus to whatever court you play on? Thank you, Rafa, for showing us that a champion's greatest achievement isn't counted in trophies, but how they elevate the game itself. True champions aren't just remembered for what they've won, but for how they've played the game. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Sports psychology is just psychology, but used for athletes and coaches and the sporting infrastructure. Psychology is a discipline that tries to understand the human mind, the principles of behavior, thoughts, emotions, and how this affects performance. So when you take all this learning and apply it to the sporting world, it becomes sports psychology. Our brain is such that unless we start to control it, it goes on its own track. So right before a match, if you start feeling nervous, get very anxious and not able to perform, this is called performance anxiety. But in practice, everything's fine, you can play well. And this is very common in sports players. So if you haven't learned to start training your mind and get it under control, then you should start mental training right now. Your brain consumes 20% of the oxygen in your body. That's why you have to eat the right kinds of food, sleep at the right time, get rest, and also do activities that increase the level of oxygen in your body. The simplest way is a lot of breathing exercises. More breathing, more lung capacity, more air coming in, more oxygen, fitter body, sharper brain.
मेरी जीत भी ले जा, मेरी हार भी ले जा, मेरा डर भी ले जा, मेरा घर भी ले जा, मेरे ख्वाब भी ले जा, मेरे राज भी ले जा, मेरा गम भी ले जा, हर जख्म भी ले जा.
All the decisions that you take with your brain here is taken by a place called the prefrontal cortex. This is right in front here and is mostly advanced in humans, not in other animals or creatures. So make use of the prefrontal cortex that we got and enhance it with proper sleep, good nutrition and exercise, and constantly keeping your mind active with mental tasks and brain games and so many other things. 2 worst times to see a sports psychologist. 1, right before your competition or the day before your competition. You're not going to learn much or pick up the techniques. Mental training is a long-term process that needs to start weeks or days in advance to see any results. And number 2, when you come to a sports psychologist just because your coach told you or somebody else told you and you have no intention of mental training. One area in our brain called the hippocampus, and it's actually where scientists have found that new brain cells can get created, and this happens with just 20 minutes of regular aerobic exercise. So any kind of exercise that gets your heart beating actually leads to a boost in your number of brain cells, which increases your mood, your immunity, lowers your stress levels, and physically, mentally makes you feel better. People think that psychologists just get paid for listening to people. Well, yes, we do listen to people, but it's a lot more than that. It's not just after a 1-hour session, you listen and then you get cashed in. No, you have to keep yourself updated with the science. You have to understand what a person is trying to say without them actually saying that, and also guide them to be a better version of themselves without directly making decisions for them. So it's a lot more than just listening to people. Wishing bad for somebody else's performance is not going to make your performance any better. Instead, it will remain that negativity inside your mind and constantly think of negative emotions like jealousy, anger, frustration, and will take you away from focusing on your own game. So instead of worrying about how other people are going to perform and predicting or wishing of how their performance would go, focus on your own game and how you can give your 100%. One cool way to improve your skills by putting no effort in at all. Observational learning. Scientists have found that just when we observe other people's behaviors, like our seniors or those celebrity players playing really well and observe their shots, subconsciously these patterns and movements go into our brain and our brain makes connections to figure out how they did that. So when your coach or somebody tells you, watch the performance, watch how they're playing, really try to observe and you might just learn something. 3 easy types of activities that you can jump into if you have too many negative thoughts. 1. Productive. Paying bills, washing clothes, doing homework, doing any kind of work. 2. Pleasurable. Doing something you like, watching a movie, calling a friend, eating good food. And 3. Peaceful. Writing in a diary, meditating, breathing exercises. Remember that all these types of activities only work in the short term to distract yourself from the thoughts. You really have to get to the root of the thought. One huge mistake that people make when they're trying to visualize is they try to do it as if they're seeing themselves in the future. I will play well, I will be successful, I will score goals. No. Visualize as if it's happening to you right now. I see myself doing well, I see myself scoring goals, I see myself performing and succeeding, and make it specific. Feeling it right now, feeling the emotion will increase your confidence, your motivation, and your clarity. So try it. Hello. I'm happy to announce the launch of my Athlete Mental Training Program. If you've ever been interested in sports psychology or enhancing your performance through mental training, then this program is for you. We have 10 different lessons on different topics, improving your confidence, visualization, match preparation, and the best part is that it's all free for you guys. So DM me for the registration link and I will see you on the launch date this Sunday in 3 days. See you there. 6 things to keep in mind to keep your mental health good in the second wave of this pandemic. Care for yourself and others. Meditate, journal, reflect. Open up. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. Don't keep all those feelings bottled up inside. Respect the frontline workers who are working with gratitude and respect yourself for what you're trying to hold together during this time. Offer whatever you can. Donate food, donate blood to the people in need. Notice the things that are there around you and how you're reacting to the situation and accept things as they are.
क्या पता हमने है कहानियां हैं कहानी में हम पम पररररम कभी कभी जो ये आधी लगती है आधी लिख दे तू आधी रह जाने दे जिंदगी है जैसे बारिशों का पानी आधी भर ले तू आधी बह
We spend so much time searching for meaning in our lives, trying to look for signs and symbols to analyze and dissect everything, to find some hidden truth or purpose. But what if life isn't about finding meaning in everything? What if it's simply about experiencing it? Maybe the meaning of life is simply to live it, to embrace every moment, even the difficult ones, to be present, feel deeply, love fiercely, and to find joy in the small things.
5 signs that you're being manipulated. They make your problems seem as they're not as big as their problems. They use personal attacks to win arguments when it's not even relevant to the problem. They do things for you without asking and then use that as leverage to ask you to do things that they want. Every conversation feels like you're defending yourself and that they are the victim. They rarely take responsibility for what happens and only show that they're taking effort to fix things without any concrete steps to prove it. Have you ever noticed? This is why you should stop watching the news. The headlines are often very negative. This affects us psychologically, lowers our mood, hyperactivates the amygdala in our brain and is linked to depression and anxiety. The news is often sensationalized. The news and media is a business and always doesn't reflect the truth. What you read in the morning is pretty similar to what you read at night. So spend just 10 minutes in the day updating yourself on all the information and don't go back to it every few hours. And lastly, watching the news reduces your productivity. Spend that time in taking care of yourself and working towards your goals. Stay safe. Hidden signs of depression. On the outside, you seem fine and strong. Nobody can really tell what's happening. On the inside, you feel numb and disinterested and sad for no obvious reason. On the outside, it seems like you're coping with all your work and functioning fine. On the inside, you have low self-esteem, guilt, self-hatred, and difficulty to concentrate. On the outside, you smile and hold things together. On the inside, you don't feel it's worth living. So this is for athletes who get homesick a lot. 3 things that you can do. Number 1, stay connected with friends and family. Keep in touch socially, share what you're doing, what you're up to, and get to know about their lives so you feel socially supported. Number 2, keep a hobby or something that you enjoy doing, like reading, writing, drawing, listening to music, anything that can get you into your comfort zone. And number 3, remind yourself of why you're here and what you're working towards. Reminding yourself of that purpose will help you focus on your training and feel less homesick. 5 ways to tell if someone is lying. They get defensive when you ask too many details. I don't have to explain myself. They get confused when sharing details. There were only 2 people. There were only 3 people. They find it difficult to look directly in your eyes when they're telling their story, mostly out of shame or guilt. They make excuses to get out of the conversation. Tired, can we talk later? They overreact when you try to touch their phone. Hey, give that back. The next time someone tries to sell you their story, look for these signs. If you haven't already, follow this page for more on psychology. Signs your mental health needs attention. Changes in appetite. You find yourself eating too much or not wanting to eat at all. You don't find yourself to be able to fall asleep easily, or might find yourself falling asleep all the time throughout the day. There's a decrease in energy. Things that you once found easy to do now require a lot of energy. There's a lot of anxiety and stress, which leads to a loss of productivity and difficulty in making decisions. You also find yourself withdrawing from social interactions by not wanting to talk to friends and family. If you find yourself seeing any of these symptoms, reach out for help soon enough.
Have you ever wondered why people pretend? Maybe it's because they want to fit in, or it's because they're afraid of being judged. Perhaps it's a way to protect themselves from feeling vulnerable or to avoid facing uncomfortable truths. But what's the point? Pretending may provide a temporary sense of safety, but it ultimately leads to a lack of authenticity and a disconnection from yourself. Being true to oneself and embracing vulnerability can be scary, but it's also the key to building genuine connections and living a fulfilling life.
This Harvard study revealed the secret to happiness, and it's not money. Even eating pizza won't make you happier in the long run unless you're eating it with your best friend. That's right. The research revealed that the happiest people have the strongest social connections. Those who had more positive relationships were happier regardless of health, money, or success. So to make sure you're happy, spend time with the people you love. Be there for them when they need. The deeper your relationships, the happier your life. Call someone you missed today and reconnect. Life will only be sweeter. Follow for more hacks to happiness. Ma'am, I could not perform well last competition. What happened? I was letting easy balls go. Did you practice visualization? Yes, very well. When did you do visualization? Right before my match. Just once? And the night before. So twice. Yeah, and once 1 month ago. Ayyo. Visualization mistakes part 3. Visualization has to be regular. You need to imagine yourself playing well in detail and slowly. Not just the day before your match, but every day, or at least 3 times a week. Your brain needs to mentally rehearse different scenarios to improve your neuromuscular memory. If you're making this rookie mistake, then watch out and follow Kunashni Psychologist for more tips on sports psychology. My performance is starting to drop and I have no idea why. When was the last time you won a match? I've been losing all my matches in the previous tournament. When was the last time you played good? 2 tournaments ago in my nationals match. How did you feel in that match? I was feeling very confident, ready to take on the player. What do you think you did differently before that match? I stopped worrying about the match. I thought I'll just play my game. Oh my god. That's what I have to do. Just play my game and not worry about the points. But how? Here are some things to help. Make a list of all the reasons you love your sports. Remember your favorite moments of the game that make you feel alive. Remind yourself of this moment before you go into playing. That's how I'll focus on just performing my best and not worry about the results. That's right. Have you ever been this close to winning? 1 goal away, 1 match point up, and then you lost under pressure. You see, that's because you're training your body, but you're not training your mind. 90% of sports is mental. If you're the best athlete but can't be confident on the day of the match and get scared of your opponent, then what's the point of being the best? While you train your body, do the best workouts, eat the right kind of food, you also have to know how to play under pressure. That's where sports psychology comes in. It helps you to train your mind. If you want to know more about sports psychology and how you can win under pressure and win medals for your country, then follow it for more hacks to happiness. The difference between mental health posts on social media and a one-on-one counseling session. I'm a psychologist and I do both, so let's discuss. In a mental health post on social media, you can get tips, tricks, techniques, general pointers, concepts, and theories, and it's for you to figure out and identify what to take away from it. In a one-on-one counseling session, we dive deeper into things, look at what symptom a person is facing, for how long they've been facing it, the case history, the family background, the personality, and the individual thought process, and figure out what technique would work best for you and which technique won't work that well for you based on all these factors. The counseling session usually lasts for 1 hour. 7 pointers to help someone with depression. Don't tell them to cheer up and smile. If it were that easy, they wouldn't be feeling depressed. Don't compare their life to somebody who has it worse and ask them to be grateful. This makes them feel guilty of expressing their emotions and scared of opening up. Don't compare their feelings to your own experience. Oh, I was once sad too, but I got over it. Do spend a lot of time around them, just talking, going for a walk, or really listening to what they have to say. Help them with routine tasks like cleaning their room or helping buying groceries. Tell them that help is available in the form of counseling and therapy. If they agree, help in looking for the best counselors together.
I beat everyone in the practice, but in the real matches, I make silly errors. Ma'am, I play really well in practice, but I don't know what happens in the competitions. Hi, I'm Kunashni, and I'm here to simplify sports psychology. These 4 skills are the most basic, powerful tools you need to succeed as a performer. If you can't focus, meditate. If you're not confident, visualize. If you're not confident and can't focus, meditate, then visualize. If you have negative thoughts, journal and learn to rationalize your thoughts. If you're nervous before a performance, fix a mental pre-performance routine. Stay tuned for more.
One cool fact about the brain is a technique called latent learning. This is the kind of stuff that we don't know that we've learned or we already know and then just comes out suddenly. For example, if you've seen somebody pass really well or hit a cool shot or swing and you observed it and you picked it up subconsciously, and then in the match you're performing and suddenly that move comes out, that swing, that shot, and you do it so well and you're like, when did I learn this or how did this happen? Well, this is called latent learning. It's done there, it's hidden there, it's happened at a time, but it's not revealed until a time that it needs to be expressed. So try to figure out and think of what kind of skills or techniques or moments or any kind of information you never knew that you knew. Something called latent learning.
So he broke my heart and pretended like I never existed. Have you talked to him since? Once, but it was so weird. No real talk, just so superficial. What are you going to do? Hey guys, coming for Yug's party tonight? Not the best time, dopamine. Oxy's feeling a little down. Oh my god, not him again. Oxy, I get that you're into holding on to bonds and stuff, but this guy, seriously? Sup, what's happening? Sari, my chemical, you on for tonight, right? Guys, a little consideration. What's with him? Oxy's going through the breakup woos. Breakup? Were they even a thing? Hey, guys. Sorry, big guy, but you can't cry for people who don't value who you are. Let's be real, Oxy. That guy shot your latent stress levels way out of proportion. I needed to self-soothe extra just to maintain my depression levels. That's a little harsh now, isn't it? Try this if you want to be more confident for your performance. Before an important upcoming event, you can get a lot of anxiety. And it's easy to distract yourself and not want to think about it for the time being. But the problem is that these thoughts stay in your subconscious mind. And when the time comes to perform, they all rush to the surface, taking you by surprise and leaving you unable to perform. So what you need to do is take these thoughts out of your subconscious mind. Write down, how do I feel about my performance? What am I the most nervous about? What strategies do I have in place? And what am I going to do if so and so happens? By addressing your anxiety, you take more control and consciously put some strategies in place to feel more confident. If you want to become a better performer and improve your mental health, then follow Kunashni Psychologist for more tips on brain health.
Here are 3 ultimate mental tools that you need to use to become a mentally strong athlete. If you follow just these 3 things, you'll become a more confident athlete and win more matches. Number 1, meditation. Daily meditation brings focus, patience, and calm. Number 2, visualization. Visualizing your success makes you confident, motivated, and positive. Number 3, journaling. Writing down your thoughts, emotions, goals, and progress brings clarity and reduces emotional stress. Just do these 3 things every single day and you'll start feeling more confident, win more points, and your opponents will wonder what just happened. Share this with an athlete who needs to hear this. Follow for more hacks on happiness. I have a match coming up on Sunday. How do I be more confident? These are questions I get from athletes right before their game. According to sports psychology, here's what you can do to be more confident. Make a list of all your strengths. What advantages you have over your opponents, your speed, your strength, stamina, different techniques, what skills you've mastered recently. Better shots, faster service, make it specific. Also, write what you've learned from your previous mistakes. Right before you perform, recall this list. By diverting our focus to what we're good at and using facts to support it, activates the dopamine reward centers in our brain and makes us feel more good about ourselves and more confident. Include this as one of the many different strategies in your mental warm-up routine so that you don't end up saying, delaying work, canceling plans with friends, skipping a workout. Why? Is it because you're lazy? Signs you're not lazy, you're just extremely tired. Chances are that despite all your motivation and planning, when the time comes to it, you're maxed out on the physical, mental, or emotional energy. It's a term in science we call as burnout. According to your brain, low activity in the VMPFC area and decreased immunity are associated with it. The reason you're feeling so drained out could be poor physical health, a stressful work environment, financial burden, social discrimination, or spreading yourself too thin over multiple tasks. The way to tackle this issue is to find the source of your exhaustion and then start cutting back on it. Read the caption for more.
So how do I stop getting angry at people's negative comments during my match? By first understanding why is it making you angry? Yes, we talked about how their comments just reflect what I really think about myself. Exactly. So how do I change this? You need to develop a more self-compassionate attitude towards yourself. How? By addressing those very insecurities. Take some time and reflect on your inner self-talk. Are you really a loser? I don't know. Are you really not worth playing the game? No, I have skills. Then their comments are just words if your belief in yourself is strong. When you get a chance, journal these thoughts. 1. What makes my game special? 2. Why am I worth winning? 3. What should I tell myself when I make a mistake? This will build your self-confidence and you won't get so angry at other people's comments because they won't hurt so much anymore. I'm not happy with the team's performance. Why? They are not playing their best on the field. No one is in sync and harmony. Someone shines in one game, someone shines in the other. Not all players in the team are giving their best at the same time. How should I fix this? There are many reasons why they could be like this. Let's find the cause first. Team cohesion. There's lack of bonding between team players. Team roles. Each player is not sure of the role they have to play at that time. Team identity. There's no sense of team oneness. Language barrier. They're unable to communicate properly with each other. Team ego. Everyone wants to prove themselves individually on the field. Leadership. There is no strong leadership or guidance. Lack of training. They lack the skills to perform what you're expecting. Exhaustion and burnout. They're over-exhausted and physically and mentally burnt out. Stay tuned for more fixes and part 2. Okay, let's find out who's causing the mood swings today. Dopamine, you're up. I kept her phone away when she woke up in the morning, so no cheap dopamine, no social media, not my fault. Serotonin? Okay, we skipped meditation today, and I also kind of forgot to remind her to sleep on time. Aha, it's you! Stop pointing fingers. Didn't you also skip the gym the other day? Well, yeah, but she hasn't seen her friends all week. Who's responsible for that? Quiet, quiet! Guys, you know, if you don't play your part, she's gonna feel messed up. Exactly, that's why I keep her motivated. I keep her calm and relaxed. I make sure she feels positive and excited. I make sure she feels loved and belong. Great, so you all know what you have to do. So do it. I'll see you all tomorrow. Please bring your reports. Why is he always so cranky? I think it's the amygdala. She's a little over dramatic. Look, these athletes, I'm paying them a bomb and I just can't get them in line. What's the matter? They're not happy with the contract, constantly complaining, saying the other players are getting paid more. They want to leave the club. They've made my life hell. Have you tried counseling them? I talked to them. Why do they need counseling? How serious are they about leaving? I don't know. They keep saying they'll leave. Do they actually want to leave? It's just a cry. That's what I believe. The psychology of a star player is a little different. They need cajoling, yet a firm command. Yeah, and I don't know how to strike that balance. From where you stand, you have the club's interest at heart. For them, it's their own interest first. That's fair. We need to understand where the demands are coming from. Do they not feel well appreciated or respected here? Clash with the teammates, some financial struggle, or a personal problem? How do we get this information out? Counseling. Okay, when can we start? We have no real choice. We're biological entities programmed by cells. So our choices are not really ours? Nope, it's all predetermined. It's in our genes. So I don't choose who I fall in love with? I don't decide what to live? Nope, it's all guided by environmental forces. Who decides these environmental forces? That's pretty deterministic, isn't it? Sorry, I'm late. Who are you? Oh, I'm the soul. I'm the seat of consciousness. Conscious what? Sorry, there's no such thing as consciousness. It's all my neurotransmitters at play, creating you, a mirage. Well, I'm here, so can't exist more than that. Brain says that we're not in control of our choices and that everything is predetermined. Is it now? Whoever you are, you need to go back. Only peer-reviewed peers are allowed in this body. Sorry, buddy, can't escape now. I mean, unless I'm liberated. Wow, how do you get liberated? I mean, there are many ways. Stop all this nonsense.
I just realized maybe a week ago how much I miss being a kid. My grandfather used to wake me up for school and sometimes massage my feet to wake me up when I was too tired after a long day of sports. He knew I would never wake up on the first go, so the first sound was always a ting, a slight knock on the door with his copper ring. And then the next sound would be my name, like a gentle whisper. The third sound would be to tell me what time it is, and the fourth would just be silence, a sort of a guilt trip or a confusing moment which would make me slowly surface up enough to catch the school bus on time. Today, I don't wake up that early, but I really do miss that alarm clock and the sweetness of his voice that I'll remember forever.
Hi Jay, how's your match? Good. Did you win? No. Did you play well? No. What went wrong? Did you practice visualization like we discussed? How was it? Detailed, positive, 10 minutes once a day. I think I'm talking to a robot. Did you enjoy it? No. CJ, I think I forgot to mention one thing to you. Your visualization needs to evoke a positive emotion. What is emotion? Feel proud that you hit a shot right. Feel excited that you're lifting the trophy. Feel content that you completed your workout first in the group. That way, you'll activate your brain's emotional center in the limbic system, boosting your confidence and motivation even higher. That's mistake number 4 in visualization, not feeling it. Follow Kunashni Psychologist for more tips on a winning performance and sports psychology. I feel like if I was better, people would love me. What do you mean? I have so many wrinkles, I'm not so charming, and I don't speak well. You think that's why you feel low often? Look, Oxy, feeling loved and belonged is not about how you appear to other people. It's about how you feel when you're around other people. But being accepted is important. Depends on who the people are. Like, your people, the important ones, won't judge you no matter what. And you'll see your levels boost around them. So what should I do? Choose who you spend time with. Share more hugs. Go out and catch up with people who you know make you feel good. And that's how I'll make her happy? That's right. It's up to you to keep her social and bonding levels high, to feel happy and good in life. I'm on it. Here, have some cake I baked. Is it organic? Refined, sugar-free, oil-free, cruelty-free, gooiness of God. It's so good. I feel so loved. How does Ronaldo bounce back from missing a crucial penalty? Let's have a look. He takes a deep breath to stay calm. He hits a mental reset button with positive self-talk to bring him to the moment. He refocuses on his next target. Use these 3 steps after any error. This rapid reset breaks the stress cycle in your brain, preventing cortisol from hijacking your performance. And that's how Ronaldo transforms missed penalties into match-winning goals with his mindset. Remember, mistakes don't define you, but your response does. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. Welcome to 21 Sports Psychology Techniques for Boosting Performance. Lesson 2. Deliberate practice. We're often practicing the drills with all effort and intensity, but one thing may be missing: intention. If you complete a set number of strokes, shots, or drills, you've done your job for the day. But deliberate practice means to think about each movement deliberately, intentionally. What was different from one stroke to the next? Do you notice any change in the speed, direction, power, or technique? What are the finer details you want to work on? Are you observing any changes? And if nothing is changing, what are you doing right or wrong? Focus on intention, not just completion. This makes you a better player, more aware of your goals and how you're achieving them. Share this video with a fellow performer, and I'll see you in the next lessons. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all slept well. Let's see where we are. I'm going to achieve the world. Great motivation level 10 on 10. Good job, dopamine. I'm not sure how exactly she'll achieve this world. Serotonin, didn't you practice our stress management techniques? I did. You need to make sure her stress levels are down. Please keep up with the routine. Feeling good, feeling a little active, a little okay, not too good, doing fine. Okay, positivity levels average, not bad. Endorphins, eat more dark chocolate. Yes, boss. Nobody loves me. Oxytocin, why are our love and social bonding levels down? You know it hits her hard. I know. Call your mom today. And dopamine, what's that high school reunion thing happening? Schedule it. On it. Okay guys, get your act together. See you all tomorrow. Please tell your other chemical friends to follow Kunashni psychologist. We need the mood meter going up. I'm feeling so low lately. Boss giving you a hard time? I mean, that's not new. You work from home, right? Yep, love it. When's the last time you stepped outside during the day? Weekends? Or I catch up with friends at night? I think your serotonin is crashing. What? Serotonin is the chemical that controls mood? Why do you think it's crashing? No sunlight, you're inside the whole day. It can affect your mood. How do you know this? Scientists found in countries like Norway and Finland, where the exposure to light is less in certain months in winter, people have a tendency to develop more depressive symptoms, something that's called seasonal affective disorder. Also, enzymes that produce serotonin are found in skin cells and activated by sunlight. Where are you going? The sun is almost setting. Even for a couple of minutes each day, try to get some natural light on your skin. Boost your serotonin and keep your mood up. And follow Kunashni psychologist for more tips on brain health. I said you're wasting all our money. You don't value the opportunity you get. Do you see anything wrong with that? What's wrong with that? They're wasting all the time and effort I'm putting into their training. See, ma'am, children are very fragile and your words help shape their confidence. But should they not hear the truth? Your intention might be very different from the way they perceive your words. Saying this makes them feel that they're not good enough. It makes them feel worthless and breaks their confidence further. But I want to see results. I understand that you want to see them perform well, but unfortunately, the results are not in your hand. You can keep supporting them, whether it's financially, emotionally, being there for every practice, following up with the coaches, but eventually the final performance is up to them. In that sense, your role is limited. You can only support, not control the results. I understand. I think I have some things to work on myself. All the best for the next competition. You almost won. Let's celebrate. No, the match is still left. 3 more points to go. So what? You got this. Shh, ma'am. Yes? When I'm easily winning, I get distracted and start making errors. Why do you think that happens? I don't know. I start celebrating early and lose it at the end. What should I do? Use your own psychology against you. What? Understand what works for you and use it to your advantage. How? Many people make errors when they're down. You seem to make errors when you're up. So flip the scenario. How do I do that? Think that you're still far away from winning the match. Increase your self-awareness of what happens in the moment. Before going into your match, write down all the mistakes you have made when you were a few points away from winning. Think of 20 possibilities of how your opponent can win in that situation. And this should stay in your mind when you're at the end of winning and should kick the adrenaline in your body to play well. Got it. Follow Kunashni Psychologist for more insights in psychology and performance. I lose in the last set or match point. Till then, I played very well. Why do you think that happens? I don't know. Everything just goes wrong at that moment. I think you take too much pressure in the winning moment. How to handle that pressure? It's a tough one, but when you master it, it works like a charm. What do I have to do? Play the sport, not the match. If you can separate your mind and body from the outcome of your actions, you'll be fully present while playing. It's not that easy. It's not. How do I not think about my results? Focus on what's in front of you, the ball, the net, the bat, just like it's any other shot. But how? I know what's at stake. By controlling your attention. You can either focus on the results or focus on the game. How do I focus on the game? Training your attention. How do I do that? Meditation. Really? Yes. Backed by ancient India and also modern science, meditation helps you keep focus, lowers your stress levels, and helps you stay in the moment. Got it. She's been crying all morning. What? She had a really good sleep, I swear. And I also played calming music instead of that blazing alarm. Well, it hasn't worked, has it? I think it's all that work that's piled up that she has to submit today. I thought she finished it before the deadline. No, there's quite a bit left.
So no morning workout today?
Sorry, buddy.
This happens all the time, and then you complain her mood is low.
But she has to complete her deadlines, right? Good morning, PFC. Well, tough situation. I need you to pull a strategic schedule. What's the situation? Overstressed, tear overflow, deadline approaching, self-care low, no time for the gym. Okay, dopamine, remind her of all the times she was in a tough situation and how she got out of it. Extract the details, do what you need to do. Make her journal it down. Serotonin, make her do some deep breathing that will lower the stress response and help focus. Make sure she gets this done by lunch, and let's schedule her gym session for the evening.
Perfect.
I know I can count on you, PFC. Well, you know, I am the logical center.
Very possible that we've set a goal and just never accomplished it. That's life. But when you think about it, was it that you couldn't do it, or that you just didn't find the motivation? According to psychology, here's a specific technique that can help stop the motivation from just dropping. And it's called knowing your why. Our why is our reason, our purpose for doing something. And when it's not clear or not important enough, losing weight or working towards a promotion aren't goals that are going to stick around. Follow these 2 steps to always keep yourself on track. Identify your why. Why do you want to change your lifestyle, diet, or work? Is it for yourself, for your family, for your health, for satisfaction? What moves you and how important is that for you? Write it down and keep a constant reminder in front of you, like a poster in your room or a wallpaper on your phone. Our brain works visually. Whatever we keep seeing, we remember better. Follow this technique so that you don't come to a situation where it's...
My dad always taught me how to win. You might think that meant coming first, but for him, that never mattered. He always told me that if I gave my best, then despite the outcome, it was always a win for me, for us. He was the first to my marathons, always cheering me on running, first to my football games, motivating our whole girls team, first to my gymnastics competitions, even when it was so far away, taking time from his own stuff to be there. The sound of the shuttlecock being hit back and forth with laughter and ridiculous moves was the perfect way to bond and remind me of all the times Dad was there. Years may have passed, and now as an adult, I'm grateful for this time to reconnect and make new memories with my dad. The game may have changed, but the love and support remains the same. Thanks, Dad, for always being there to play with me.
Here's one brain hack to change your mood instantly. Throughout the day, we can often feel low just by thinking how much our life sucks or how we messed up in something. And if we get stuck in that negative loop, there's no escaping. But research done by brain scientists shows that there's one emotion that can get us out of this negative thinking cycle. People who can induce this emotion at any time are less likely to get depression. This powerful emotion is gratitude. Here are 3 ways to practice it regularly. Write down 3 things that you are truly grateful for. Write down 3 people without whom life would not be the same. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for that did not happen, like getting saved from a car accident. The emotion of gratitude creates a biological shift in the brain. It activates the dopamine reward systems and releases serotonin, which makes us feel good and more capable at handling stress. Even the Indian saint Swami Vivekananda spoke about how gratitude is the key to all doors and the foundation of all virtues.
I'm doing everything right. I still don't see any improvements. What do you mean? I'm going for practice every day, learning new skills, following my diet, but still I'm not winning any matches. Where do you think you're lacking? I really don't know. I'm doing everything. So why do you think you aren't seeing any results? I guess it's just not my luck. Are you like this athlete too, who feels out of luck? Well, that's your brain deceiving you. It's easier to give up instead of trying again, and luck is an easy victim. A common problem is getting stuck in a fixed mindset where you see no answer. You may have tried everything that you know, but there could be things outside your awareness that's limiting your growth. The solution is to adopt a growth mindset where you sit with the problem, develop self-awareness, and keep making small changes until you find what works. So if you don't see progress, it's not because you failed, it's because you haven't yet tried what works. Keep going. As long as you haven't given up, you're on the right track. Follow for more insights into performance and and sports psychology. Wouldn't it be funny if the key to unlocking your brain's full potential was actually hiding in your snack box? From ancient Ayurvedic knowledge to cutting-edge neurobiological research, we know that food shapes our mind. But some modern snacks are like mental maggots for your brain, dropping cognitive performance by up to 20%. Here's what you should know. A study on 10,000 people in Brazil showed that regularly consuming ultra-processed snacks was associated with a 28% faster rate of cognitive decline in memory, attention, and thinking power. Avoid these 5 snacks for your brain: sugary biscuits, dry fruits with artificial sweeteners, flavored potato chips, energy bars, and cold drinks. You can replace them with fruit slices, dry fruits, roasted chana, and cucumber-flavored water. Every bite is a chance to upgrade your brain's operating system of 86 billion neurons. Choose wisely. Your next snack could be the difference between mental fog and laser-sharp focus. Follow for more mind-blowing insights on how to hack your brain for peak performance. If you're feeling underconfident for your performance, then you need to know this technique. It was used by Michael Phelps to win 28 Olympic medals and by several other elite athletes. It's a very simple technique, yet so many practice it wrong. I'm going to go over 5 simple mistakes you should avoid when visualizing. Mistake number 1, negative visualization. Imagine a good performance, not a poor one. A lot of times athletes tell me, "Yes, ma'am, I visualized." And then I ask them, "What did you visualize?" And they say, "I saw myself playing a tough match and I was missing easy shots." Stop right there. That's mistake number 1. Your visualization has to be what you want to see happening, not what you're afraid of. See yourself playing well, hitting the right shot, winning in slow motion and detail. If you try to create a mental picture and the story is negative, your performance most likely is going to be negative as well. If you can't see it here, you can't play it out there. Stay tuned for more performance tips and follow Kunashni Psychologist for more insights in sports psychology. I get really anxious before and during my matches. It's like I freeze up. I think you're referring to performance anxiety. It's very common among athletes. When did you start feeling this way? It's been a while, but it's getting worse. And how do these feelings manifest? Do you feel physical symptoms? Yeah, my heart races and I feel nauseous, and sometimes I feel like I might even just pass out, like I can't play. It seems like your body is going into fight or flight mode. This happens when the brain perceives a threat. In your case, the threat of underperforming or failing. But how do I overcome this? Have you heard about progressive muscle relaxation? What's that? It's a technique where you tense and then relax different muscle groups in your body. The mind and body connection is strong. So by calming the body, we can also help calm the mind. I should really learn how to do this. According to neuroscience, your brain has 2 decision-making systems: quick instinct and slow analysis. Watch what happens when these systems collide. The goalkeeper thinks that if I point to the left, he'll think I want him to shoot there and will shoot on the right. But if he figures this out, then he'll actually shoot on the left. Meanwhile, the striker keeps it beautifully simple. He wants me to shoot left? Okay, I'll shoot right. This is what psychologists call the overthinking trap, where complex analysis paralyzes performance. Your brain's overthinking network, the DMN, activates. Here's how champions avoid this trap. First, trust your gut instinct. Your brain's initial read is often right. Next, resist the urge to add layers of strategy. Don't overthink it. Too much complexity slows you down. Finally, commit to your decision. Hesitation is more costly than a simple wrong choice. Sometimes the best strategy is no strategy at all and cling to the moment. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. What if I told you that the most powerful tool for athletic success isn't in the gym, but in your mind? From ancient Indian yogis to modern Olympians, the secret weapon has always been the same: visualization. Take cricket legend Virat Kohli. He doesn't just practice his swing, he visualizes every detail of his perfect performance. Science shows that when you vividly imagine performing an action, your brain fires in almost the same way as when you're performing it physically. A study in the Journal of Sports Psychology found that athletes who combined physical practice with visualization improved compared to those who practiced just physically. Before your next big moment, take 5 minutes. Close your eyes, see yourself performing flawlessly. Feel the movements, hear the sounds, make it real in your mind. This isn't just positive thinking, it's mental rehearsal. It's programming your brain for success. It's tapping into the same wisdom that ancient Indian sages and modern champions have used to achieve the extraordinary. Follow for more game-changing psychology hacks. I still don't know how to stop losing in semi-finals and finals. You need to change your approach. What do you mean? If you want to compete at a certain level, you have to train with people of that level. Okay. Because you don't feel challenged in practice, you're not getting confidence to play against the big players, even if you're as good as them. So what do? Train with people who challenge and push you. But there's nobody in my academy of that level. Have you thought of changing your academy? I want to, but it's not possible. Why? I've been there for many years and it would upset my coach. I tried telling him, but he said I'm getting a good training here. Are you? I don't know. It's a tough decision to make. I don't know how to make it. Doing what's best for you isn't always easy and won't please everyone, especially those who supported you. I'll have to think about this. If you feel stuck in the place where you are right now, remember, you always have a choice and not everyone will be happy about it. But is it the better choice for you? Follow Kunashni Psychologist for more brain food and tips on sports psychology. How does Michael Jordan bounce back from every setback with unwavering confidence, while some athletes swing between feeling really confident one day and completely doubting themselves the other? If you feel the same, then this video is for you. Just like the pros, you can stabilize your confidence with this 5-minute exercise that challenges black and white thinking called the Perspective Shift Protocol. First, write down your most recent performance that's affecting your confidence. Write down how it makes you feel. List all your positive performances from the past 3 months. Then list all your negative performances from the last 3 months. Finally, read this list in your mind 3 times. Doing this exercise activates the brain's medial prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for balanced self-awareness. It puts all your experiences in perspective and stops you from making extreme black or white conclusions based on just 1 or 2 events. Research shows that this can stabilize confidence within minutes and make you a mentally stronger athlete like the pros. Follow for more sports psychology and performance secrets. I'm not comfortable with the coach's style. What do you mean? I'm more of an offensive player and here I'm being made to play defensive. I feel it's ruining my game. Have you talked to the coach? I have, but he said to keep trying and it will get better. What do you think? I think that right before the tournament, I shouldn't be trying anything new. Why is that? If it doesn't work well, then I can make more errors and my performance will drop. I think you should talk to the coach again. What can I do? You need to work with the coach to understand if this is working for you. Open communication is key, but I'm not sure they'll understand. It's about how you approach it. Try to frame your words more as a question rather than a complaint. Sir, this is not working. Versus, sir, how can I make this work? This will help both of you work in coordination. And if it still doesn't work, then you got to play smart and take a stand. I'm scared it will upset him. Your fear of that will cost your game for longer. Yeah, that's true. I gotta talk to him. Always communicate and self-analyze. You understand your game like no one else. Be strong, be smart. Share this with someone who needs to hear this. The tournaments are back to back and I have just no time to practice in between. No time? No, I'll get physically tired, so I have to keep the sessions light. And I can't practice the more difficult skills, just the basic ones. How can I be confident if I don't practice? It's very common not to get the platform to train right before or in between your tournaments. This is where mental practice really helps. Mental practice? You can't practice with your body, but you can practice with your mind. How do I practice with my mind? You have to visualize your performance. Every small move and muscle movement. Grip on your bat, the speed of the ball, and slowly go through the movements like watching a movie in your mind. How will this help? When you imagine different skill sets, your brain cells fire in the same pattern as when you're actually performing the movement. This helps your muscle movement get practice without actually moving your muscles. Does it really work? Just visualizing has increased muscle mass, skill level, and confidence compared to those who were not visualizing their performance. Wow, okay, I want to try this. How do I begin? Ma'am, I've just come back from the national tournament. I heard you played very well. Congratulations. No, I lost in the finals. That's really good. You reached the finals. Yes, but I know I could have won. What do you think happened? I always lose in really close matches. Finals, semi-finals, I come under pressure. Even if the player in front of me is not as good. When do you think this started happening? It's been like that for a while. How was the previous tournament? Same. Lost in the second round of the semis. When's the last time you played a good match? So long ago, I can't remember. Let's try. 2020. I don't know. Try again. When was the last time you enjoyed your performance? 3 years ago, I played a really great match. The best of my life. And what happened after that? Then I changed my academy. And all the people I trained with were juniors. So you never got practice with people at your level? In the competition, yes, I play against them. But in your practice, they're all kids. There's no challenge. I think this is where it all started. Sir, I really want to do much better. You know she's been feeling depressed lately. But I just don't know how to cheer her up. I've crashed. You need to pick yourself up. How do I recharge? Go on a detox. A detox? Yes, a dopamine detox. For my skin? No, not for your skin. You're a neurochemical, for God's sake. You don't have skin. So then, stop binge watching those reels. Go to bed early. Ask serotonin to take you for a walk. Eat clean. And finally, get some work done. You'll reignite some synapses. I know what you're saying. Of course, I know it all. But I just don't feel that motivation. I just don't want to get out of bed. I understand. When you're at your lowest, it's difficult to even get the small stuff done. I really want to improve. Start with a cold shower. A cold shower? Yes, every morning. It will shoot your levels up by 250%. Okay, then do one small positive action at a time. Okay, can I come back to you for help when I do? I'm always here. Follow Kunashni psychologist so that your dopamine too can feel more sorted. I just can't handle those comments. Which comments? In the middle of my game. If I'm losing, oh no, how could you miss that? Come on, you can do better. So these comments bother you on the field? Yes, very much. I get so angry, I feel like shouting at them and asking them to leave. I want to control my anger and also, of course, improve my game. How do you feel when you miss a shot? Bad, obviously. What do you think in your mind when you miss a shot? I get really angry and start abusing. Abusing who? Others or yourself? No, not others. It's usually at myself. You're so stupid. How could you get that wrong? Just stuff like that. So you have a negative critical attitude towards yourself, I guess. Your anger issues at people isn't because of the comments they make, but how true those words reflect the thoughts in your own mind. Their comments are just words until they confirm what you think about yourself. So I get angry because their comments are just confirming what I think about myself. Yeah, why do I think that about myself? That's for you to reflect on. How do I work on this? We'll talk about that in the next part. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is what happened. I'm listening, I'm winning, and I just can't wait to win. So if I have some points left, I just try to finish it fast. I hit the ball anywhere and I play so bad, I keep making silly mistakes. So you become impatient to win. Yes, and then from a winning position, I go on to losing the match. I think that you're too scared to lose from a winning position and your brain can't handle the extra pressure. Yeah, how do I fix this? There are 3 ways to fix this. 1. Practice taking control during visualization. Imagine the same scenarios, but this time observe yourself hitting the ball where you want. Second, meditate by following your breath to stay in the moment. This will allow you to focus on just the shot and not the results. And 3, lastly, journal your thoughts. Ask yourself, why is winning so important to you? Move from a results-focused mindset to a perform your best mindset. So should I do this the day before my match? No. Every day, for 10 minutes at least for each activity. Awesome. I'll try all of these. Follow Kunashni psychologist so that you too can control your performance. When this Australian batsman taunted Bumrah about not getting any wicket, what happened next is a masterclass in controlled aggression. According to sports psychology, when someone rattles you, your response defines your success. Watch Bumrah here. Instead of losing control, he simply decided to reply with an action and delivered a brilliant wicket on the next ball. This isn't just about cricket. It's about mastering the art of channeling provocation into performance. Here's the controlled fire protocol that champions use. First, acknowledge the emotion, but don't let it consume you. Take a deep breath and remember, you're in control, not them. Next, don't replay their words in your head. Redirect that fire towards your skill execution. Finally, let your performance do the talking. Bumrah went on to break the record of the most number of wickets in a test series by an Indian bowler. His controlled response fired up the entire team's energy. Remember, champions aren't defined by how others provoke them, but how they respond. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympic champion, turned a potential disaster into an Olympic gold.
In 2008, when my goggles filled up with water, I swam blind for 175 meters out of a 200 flat. 1 gold and broke the world record.
In this situation, most swimmers would panic, but Phelps had seen this before in his mind. The secret to his composure, a sports psychology technique used by elite performers.
I was taught at a very young age just to visualize.
Weeks leading up to his race, he mentally rehearsed every possible scenario, including the worst ones.
So in 2008, when my goggles filled up with water, I was relaxed because I reverted back to what I did in training.
Visualizing yourself overcoming unforeseen challenges primes your brain to adapt and prepares you for the unexpected. Here's how to level up your visualization practice. Do this 8-minute routine twice a week. This isn't negative thinking. It's a strategic mental preparation to make you an unbeatable champion. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology and performance secrets. Ma'am, I get nervous when I face a high rank opponent. Why do you get nervous? Because I know I'm going to lose. Why do you think you're going to lose? Because his rank is very high. Ah, that's the problem. You see, when you go into a match thinking that your opponent is more experienced, your brain creates an expectation of how you're supposed to perform. It's called cognitive priming. You end up playing like the weaker opponent because you've categorized yourself as higher rank and lower rank, subconsciously telling yourself who's better and who's worse. So, what should I do? Ignore the details of who you're playing against, their name, where they're from, their academy, and ranking. But how do I ignore it? By focusing instead on your strengths and strategy. But don't I need to understand their game? Their rank doesn't tell you much about their game. Observe their strengths and style instead. Okay, I can do that. Sounds good. If you're facing this issue too, then follow for more tips on sports psychology.
Let it all work out. Let it all work out.
When you're close to success, your brain's dopamine system anticipates the victory and starts firing too early, which can be bad for you because it pulls you out of the present moment, leaving you vulnerable to last-minute mistakes and costing your win. That's why Carlo Ancelotti, winner of 5 Champions League titles, is legendary for keeping his cool. Even Roger Federer, who won 20 Grand Slams, never celebrated until the final point was won. Whether you're closing a match or finishing a major life goal, here's the champion focus protocol that elite performers use. First, recognize when your brain starts getting excited too early. Next, consciously delay the dopamine release by focusing on any immediate physical trigger, like your breath, sensation of the ball, or the movement of a pen. Finally, channel that energy into maintaining your intensity. Daily meditation can help strengthen the dopamine circuitry, allowing you to delay celebration and stay focused, because the goal isn't achieved until it's achieved.
Nicely performed, 2 in a row. Oh no.
According to neuroscience, the moments after failure, your brain floods your body with stress hormones, making it difficult to think clearly. That's what makes the Flying Dutchman's response so remarkable. Even after a fall of a career-defining moment, the defending Olympic champion gets up and finishes it flawlessly. Michael Jordan faced a similar challenge in 1997 when he fought through an illness, falling down but getting up each time instantly to win the finals. Champions understand that it's not about the fall, but about the 3 seconds after. Here's the 3-second reset protocol that elite athletes use. First, acknowledge the reality. Take one deep breath in to accept what happened. Next, release the emotion. Exhale the frustration and remember, the show must go on. And finally, redirect your focus to the next move. Remember that you are bigger than your mistakes and that the routine isn't over until you decide it's over. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. Ma'am, I'm practicing so hard, but I'm not getting any results in the competition. Do you get nervous when performing? No, ma'am, I'm very confident, but my level of game is not improving. I work so hard, I don't know where I'm going wrong. What should I do? You might be putting in a lot of hours, but are you doing deliberate practice? What is that? How many strokes do you practice on average each session? 20, ma'am, and sometimes 25. And what's the difference between each stroke? They're all strokes, ma'am, but what's the difference between each stroke from one to the next? They're all the same, ma'am. Sometimes forehand, sometimes backhand, 20 each. That's the problem. You're working very hard, but you're not working smart. If you practice to hit a certain target of shots, then you're focusing on completion rather than improvement. Analyze every move, footwork, power, pressure, technique, and angle from ball to ball. And note small differences in performance so you know where to work. Okay, thank you, ma'am. I will try that. If you heard this, are you engaged in deliberate practice or just another routine? Follow Kunashni Psychologist for more tips on performance and brain health. The problem is not your skills. The problem is how confident you are. And one mistake is that if you can't see yourself performing well in here, you're going to find it very difficult to do it out in the real world. Visualization mistakes part 2. When imagining a win, you're probably rushing through your visualization. Okay, I kicked, I saved, I shot, I passed, I won, yay, give me the trophy. Visualization isn't going to work powerfully like that. Your imagery has to be very slow and detailed. Where are you? What time is it? What's the weather like? What's the color of your coat? How tight is the grip on your bat? Which muscle in your body is the most tense? When you close your eyes and imagine, you should be able to see it all in detail. Where did you receive the pass? From which corner did it come? At what speed? At what distance? Who's behind you? Making just one pass can take a whole minute or maybe even more. That's how you practice training your mind to be prepared. Make your way up to the winning moment. Don't jump to it, build it up. Make it real, keep it positive. Follow Kunashni Psychologist for more tips on a winning performance and sports psychology. This coffee is really good. Did you watch the match yesterday? No, I just didn't get time. How could you miss it? I had my own match. Oh yeah, your states. What states? I couldn't even qualify. How? You're so good. I don't know. Something just happens to me before my performance. I can never concentrate or think positive. Have you tried match analysis? No, what's that? I learned it from my sports psychologist. It's a self-reflective exercise. It's a way to figure out what moments trigger your negative thoughts and overcome a bad performance. Oh, okay. How do you do it? You have to reflect on what went wrong and strategize a recovery. Start by pinpointing 3 areas where things didn't go as planned. Next, dive into the underlying factors. Like for each mistake, write down the possible reasons that led to these outcomes. And lastly, chart your path forward. Craft a detailed action plan outlining the strategies that you intend to use to avoid these errors in the future. For me, I think I freeze when I see who the opponent is. Oh yeah, that can throw you off. How do I learn more about match analysis? Oh, just follow Kunashni Psychologist. She's a clinical and sports psychologist and keeps sharing tips about brain health and sports performance. I feel I'm not giving the best to my players. Why is that? I want to do more fitness drills, discuss more strategies together, do some match plays, and also make them play some fun activities at the end to lighten the session. These sound like really good plans. I know. What's stopping you? I'm not able to fit everything or plan everything properly. Why is that? The ground has to be cleared by late morning. It sometimes rains and we have to cancel the practice. And sometimes I try to mix too many things at once, which confuses the players. Do you feel you're in control of all these factors? Some of them, but not all. It's important to recognize our locus of control. This is an imaginary circle in which everything that we can control falls within the circle and everything that we can't control falls outside the circle. The ground availability, rain situation, and time limit are outside your circle of control, but optimizing every session that you get is within your circle of control. How do I manage what's inside my control? Prepare the week's session plan in advance. Focus on one main learning outcome for each session. Monitor the load of the players and take constant feedback. That's how you can control your environment with all these limitations. Here's a way to avoid fake confidence. When's your next competition? Next week. Are you prepared? No. Are you worried? Not really. How do you feel about how your performance will be? It will be fine. Fine as in good fine or not so good fine? Good, I guess, but I'm not sure. What are some reasons you'll play well? This is called false confidence. You don't think you're well prepared, but suppress the fear of performance. Brush it off and say you're fine, denying that deep down you might be panicking. It's all good until the time that you have to perform, and then you can't suppress your anxiety anymore, and it comes out roaring. It takes you by surprise and you can freeze, get nervous, feel doubtful and get into panic. You might not want to play or might make so many silly mistakes you might not even recognize your performance. Here's a way to avoid fake confidence. Be honest about how you feel about your performance. Use facts to support why you think your performance will be good or bad. If you think you're really not prepared, at least you've addressed it and you can focus on what you're lacking on and change your strategy. Follow for more insights in sports psychology and performance. 21 sports psychology techniques for boosting performance. Lesson 1. Meditation. Meditation has shown tremendous benefits for athletes in improving their focus, confidence, and resilience. It seems so easy, yet sometimes feels so difficult. So how to meditate? I'm going to show you a simple technique called zero meditation or shunyata. Sit comfortably on a mat or your bed. Place your palms on your knees facing upwards. Touch your thumb and index finger lightly. Back straight, relax your shoulders. Relax your arms, relax your legs. Take 10 deep breaths, as much air as you can in and as much air as you can out. On the last breath, start following your breath. Don't breathe deeply or forcefully. Just let your breath happen normally and observe it. You will get thoughts, it's normal. Just acknowledge them, then come back to your breath. Do this for 2 minutes and slowly build more capacity. When your timer is up, gently open your eyes. Welcome to meditation. Day 1 of being a better athlete. Save this video and try it out. Akash, why didn't you perform well yesterday? Yes, beta, you got out so early. You know your potential. Ma'am, hi Akash. You know, earlier no one used to say anything about my game. If I played well, that's great. And if I didn't play well, that's fine too. Ever since I started performing well, people started expecting more. And every time I don't perform, I get to hear it. What about this bothers you the most? That I just can't play my game. Not every day is going to be good. Some days will be bad. And they don't get it. What don't they get? That I will perform well, I just need time. How do you think you can control their their response. I can't. How do you think you can control your response? I don't know. I get so upset every time they say something, especially my parents. How would you like things to be? I just want my mind to be quiet. I want to play my game naturally like I used to play before, without any pressure. How do you think you can achieve that? I don't know. Block out the noise? Here are some reminders to help with that. You can't control other people's responses to your performance. You know about your performance more than others. If you're satisfied with your performance and you know how you have to improve, that's what counts. No one can walk your shoes. Thanks, I'll try that. Follow Kunashni Psychologist for more insights on brain health and sports psychology.
Most of the time, we're not living in the moment. We're thinking about the past or the future, stuck in cycles of negative thoughts leading to overthinking and anxiety. Everybody says, don't think about the past, don't worry about the future, stay in the present. But how do you do it? It happens with the practice of a technique called mindfulness. This involves training your attention to the things immediately around you or within you, away from your thoughts and more towards your feelings and experiences. Let's practice. What are you doing right now? Notice one thing in your environment that you didn't take notice of before. What's the shape, texture, and color of this item? Next, try paying attention to how fast you are breathing. Is it slow? Is it fast? Are you struggling to breathe or is it calm? When you're alone, focus on your immediate experiences, like the sounds you can hear or the taste of the food that you're eating. The sensations in your body can help take the power away from your thoughts and more in your control. This can help to anchor you in the present moment and take you away from anxiety and overthinking. It's not easy at first, but with constant practice, mindfulness can become a powerful tool for reducing stress and improving your mood and well-being.
It may surprise you to know this, that even though there are top 4 strategies in sports psychology, such as meditation, visualization, pre-performance routines, and different types of journaling, but to be very honest, in the first session, only 20% of the time do I begin with any of these strategies. In fact, most of the first session is identifying the cause of the anxiety, stress, or underperformance. And if correctly identified, then bringing insight into the problem helps shift perspective, improve clarity, and reduce stress. For example, identifying that for a person, their anxiety stems from unrealistic expectations of themselves, biased views of themselves or their game, or an unhealthy relationship with a parent or a coach. Once these patterns have been addressed and shifted, we're now at a baseline and the athlete is able to move on to learn any kind of technique such as meditation or visualization or any performance-specific technique. So if any of these techniques that you've tried haven't yet worked for you, remember that there might still be a core issue that needs to be addressed. And that's why I feel sports psychology and general mental health therapy have a huge overlap, because an athlete is a human first with similar mental health problems. I hope that was helpful. See you in the next video.
Days ago, when this West Indies bowler stormed off the field in anger, it revealed something fascinating about controlling emotions under pressure. According to neuroscience, when anger hits, your brain's emotional center, the amygdala, takes control from your rational mind. But research shows that you have a crucial 90-second window to regain that control. MS Dhoni, one of cricket's greatest captains, mastered this control over his amygdala. His legendary cool under pressure wasn't just natural, it was a trained response. Here's the 90-second reset protocol that champions use. First, notice your physical signs like racing heart, tense muscles, and take a deep breath. Next, think from a cool perspective by anticipating the consequences of your actions and ask yourself, is the anger worth it? Finally, refocus your attention to the next step of play. Whether it's a critical game moment, a challenging work situation, or a heated family discussion, this protocol helps you maintain control when it matters the most. So the next time you feel anger rising, remember, you're just 90 seconds away from regaining your champion's composure. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. You would have faced this as well, where you play really well in practice, but something just goes wrong in the competition. Like you've worked so hard, but you can't see the results when it comes. And you kind of feel down and bad about it because everything just kind of feels out of control. This happens because match environments are very different from practice environments. In practice, you're not being judged, you're not worried about making mistakes. But in the match, you hear the crowd, you see your opponent, and your subconscious mind already knows that something is different, that the stakes are higher, no matter what you tell yourself. So how do you make yourself perform in competitions the same way that you do in practice? And the answer is that you need a bridge, something that can connect your practice to your match performance, something to tell your body and your mind that it's time to perform your best. That connection comes in the form of a pre-performance routine. So this is based on the psychological principle of cue conditioning. Your pre-performance routine is like a mental warm-up that signals signals your brain each time to get into the right zone. A few deep breaths, a personal performance ritual, listening to your favorite music, meditation, visualization, all these behaviors, while itself are de-stressing, also act as a signal for your mind and body to be prepared. Hi, Mrs. Ahuja. How's Vansh's basketball shaping up? He's doing really good, but sometimes I wonder, what if he's not made for sports? I keep asking Mr. Ahuja also, should we keep him in this sport? He doesn't feel motivated? He is motivated. He wants to play well, but I can't see that fighting instinct when he's playing. Is it always like that? No, sometimes he's perfect, but other times it's like he's somewhere else, getting distracted before his match and not in the right zone. I don't think he's getting his optimal level of arousal before the match. What? An optimal level of arousal is just the right amount of energy an athlete needs to play their best. Too less energy and they're dull. Too much and they're overexcited and unfocused. How do you get the right mental energy before your match? By warming up mentally. What should Vansh do? Top athletes use deep breathing, brisk visualization, short meditation, personal performance rituals, and listen to their favorite music as some ways to get into their zone. Which one should he try? He can try anything and see what works for him, and then make a routine out of it. This will ensure that he's in the right state of mind before his match. Got it. I'll make sure he tries it. Follow Kunashni Psychologist for more tips on sports psychology and a winning performance. Virat Kohli just hit a boundary and then got out on the next ball after a 13-year return to Ranji Trophy's domestic cricket. With crowds filling in the stadium to watch him play and expectations high, such moments can shake any athlete's confidence. According to sports psychology, how you respond to public disappointment often defines your journey more than the disappointment itself. In moments of heightened emotion, your brain's amygdala can take over, making you rethink your decision and question your worth. But that's when the mental strength of players like Kohli comes into picture. Here's the comeback protocol that elite performers use to protect self-confidence and bounce back fast. First, acknowledge what happened. Take a moment to understand the situation, allowing your brain to process the details without letting emotions cloud your perspective. Next, analyze what went wrong technically. Find things that could have led to that performance drawback. Was it a technical error, physical limitation, or mental pressure problem? And finally, plan your set of action, working on each step to come back stronger. Remember, don't let one setback define your performances. Champions aren't defined by their fall, but how quickly they return to their feet. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets.
I just want to say that it's going to be okay. One major concern that clients often have before therapy is that, is this going to work or is it just another attempt? I think so often people have heard the generic stuff. Be positive. Don't worry. Stop overthinking. But it's really not that easy. If it were, we all would be much happier right now. So this message is for those who are struggling, who are wondering, is there any hope? Can anything change? And the answer is yes. Always yes. There's a science to self-improvement. There's a way to go about the change. So if you're anxious, learn to ground yourself in the moment and practice breath work. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and your body relaxes. If you're excessively negative, focus on revisiting difficult emotions from the past and processing them through journaling. When you journal, your prefrontal cortex is able to sift through important information and bring you clarity. If you're underconfident, learn to practice gratitude for your strengths. Focusing on your strengths activates the dopamine reward centers in your brain and recreates a positive image of yourself. Trust the process, put in the work. Change is a byproduct. Stay tuned for more ways to get your life together and be happier by a psychologist. See you in the next one.
This one's for parents of athletes. Do you see your child getting nervous before competitions, sometimes almost crying? Do you wish you knew what to say that would make them feel confident? And do you sometimes feel that you're putting too much pressure on them to win? The thing is that athletes go through so much stress by themselves and face a lot of self-doubt and pressure from their own expectations and from that of the coach. So when they come to you, they're looking for an emotional safe space. But when that safe space gets compromised, they shut themselves out, don't tell you how they're feeling, and you can see in their performance that something is a problem. Positive reinforcement is the key solution in this case. Every time your child tells you about their performance or a win, compliment them with a lot of praise and positivity. Wow, you're so good. The way you played was amazing. Even if they lose, still point out what they did great. Try not to point out their mistakes, especially if they're already aware of it. And definitely don't compare them with their peers. This breaks their confidence. Be the positive pillar in their life. This will shape their confidence and internal self-talk. And you'll see a more positive and happy athlete winning matches. Follow for more hacks to happiness.
Eating this can actually prevent anxiety and depression. Did you know that our gut is home to trillions of microbacteria? These small organisms help in digestion, but it's not just food that they control, but also mood. Our body has good bacteria and bad bacteria. The good bacteria communicate with our brain through a special channel called the gut-brain axis. They release hormones, neurochemicals, and immunity markers that keep our body calm, relaxed, and active. Neurochemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA are produced in the gut, which help control anxiety and depression. Good bacteria release anti-inflammatory markers, which are linked to improving mood and depressive symptoms. Good bacteria also help to lower cortisol, which is linked to lower stress. And your good bacteria feed on high fiber foods like apples, bananas, oats, spinach, ginger, nuts, and anything high in fiber. If these foods aren't enough, you can increase your good bacteria count directly by eating curd, kimchi, miso, pickle, kombucha, or even taking supplements after consulting your doctor. So just by what you eat and setting your gut-brain communication right, you can prevent anxiety and depression. Are you watching what you eat?
Life is a poetic and enigmatic masterpiece that unfolds before us with every breath we take. Like a canvas painted by the brushstrokes of the divine, life invites us to explore the deepest recesses of our souls and discover the hidden beauty that lies within. The Bhagavad Gita reminds us that the true essence of life lies not in the pursuit of material possessions, but in the pursuit of spiritual growth and realization. By connecting with our innermost being and tapping into the infinite wisdom of the universe, we can uncover the profound mystery and magic that surrounds us each day. Let yourself be swept away by the symphony of life and allow the wonder and awe of existence to fill your heart with love and joy. In the words of the sage, the self-controlled soul who moves amongst the sense objects, free from either attachment or repulsion, he wins eternal peace. By embracing the mystery and beauty of life, we can find the peace and fulfillment that our hearts have always yearned for.
Hey Kunashni. Hey John, how's it going? My biggest problem is the way I play in practice, I just can't play that way in competitions. What do you mean? Like in practice, I can play so well and I beat everyone. But in the matches, like I get so nervous and freeze and my performance just drops. So what should I do? Here's what you need to do. Practice this. Sit in a quiet place for 10 minutes every day and imagine what it would be like to play well. Put yourself in that match situation as if it's happening right now and see yourself in slow motion and detail, hitting the shots you want and overcoming your fear. Okay, so I should imagine myself playing the match? But how will this help me? The cells in your brain will activate in the same pattern as if you're playing a real match, and your mind will get practice to handle the competition pressure. It's the power of a network of your brain called mirror neurons. Is that called visualization? That's right. Okay, I can try that. Remember to take a few deep breaths and clear your mind before you begin. If you face this too, then try visualization. And if you're still struggling, reach out for more help.
This isn't just about physical endurance, it's about mental resilience. According to sports psychology, our capacity to thrive under pressure comes down to remembering our inner strength. Watch this goalkeeper. Even after multiple saves, he keeps going until the job is done. Here's what happens in a champion's mind when facing pressure. First, they access their mental highlights reel, moments where they've conquered similar challenges before. Next, they focus on immediate action, not the mountain ahead, but the next step in front of them. Here's the never give up protocol that champions use. First, maintain your strengths bank. Keep a record of your wins, big and small. Recall them right before you perform, so that when doubt creeps in, this becomes your fuel. Next, break down the challenge. Don't think about the whole match. Think about the next save, next move, the next moment. Finally, remember this truth. Champions push through because they know that giving up hurts more than pushing on. You can apply this to any sport or field of performance. Create a mental bank of highlight moments to draw strength from. Remember, mental strength isn't about never feeling like you want to give up. It's about remembering why you started and fueling the fire when it's at its lowest. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets.
What's similar between the world's greatest cricket captain and the fastest man in the world? Their secret to peak performance might surprise you. According to sources, Dhoni thinks about the match only 2 hours before the game and immediately switches off mentally after. Even Usain Bolt, before breaking world records, would think about playing his favorite video game, a habit he's maintained since childhood. According to neuroscience, this isn't just relaxation. Deliberate mental disconnection rewires your brain's stress response system, enhancing performance and reducing cortisol levels. Here's the mental reset protocol that champions use. First, define your power window. Identify the specific 2-hour period window when you need peak focus and preparation. Next, create your recovery list. Choose activities that bring you joy and completely disconnect you from the performance pressure. Finally, protect your mental space. Stick to your 2-hour focus window and let your brain reset for the other 22 hours. Whether you're an athlete, student, or high performer, this protocol helps manage pressure in any high-stakes situation. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by constant pressure, remember, even champions know when to switch off. Peak performance isn't about thinking more, it's about thinking right. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. Here's a quick 3-step framework to get out of a negative mind and feel more confident. Most common advice you'll hear is be positive, stay focused. But if it were that easy, then people wouldn't be struggling. Our brain responds to emotions or logic. Emotions are controlled by the limbic system, and logic is controlled by the cortex. When the negative emotion is too strong, we need logic to come in and break it down. That's the cortex region of your brain telling your limbic system to back off. So to get out of the negative thought cycle, you need positive facts, not just positive sentences. Here's a quick 3-step framework. State the negative thought. I'm going to fail. Bring the facts to break this thought by asking yourself, why is this not true? This might take some time and you might not be able to think of anything, but keep trying. I've practiced this 1,000 times. I've covered all my bases and I'm ready to try. When you've got enough facts, your logical brain will take over. And now you can replace the negative sentence with a fact-supported positive one. Make sure to keep your emotions in check by fighting your limbic system with facts. Follow for more hacks to happiness. While his opponent stands still, Nadal's aggressive warm-up sends a powerful message. According to sports psychology, dominant body language can rewire your biochemistry in just 2 minutes, increasing testosterone by 8%. Even MS Dhoni would stand impossibly still behind the stump, making his presence felt without a single word. Neuroscientifically, dominant body language transforms how your brain perceives itself. Reduce stress hormones by 25%, while poor posture can increase it by 15%. When you act confident, your brain responds as if you are. Here's the power presence protocol that champions use. First, don't fear your opponents. Intimidating displays don't equal skills. Next, own your space. Move fast and skillfully to show power. Stand tall and wide to open the space. And finally, keep your head up and smile to show confidence even if you don't feel it. This power of presence extends beyond sports, improving performance in presentations, interviews, and high-stake meetings. So the next time you're warming up for a match, let your presence signal readiness to both your brain and your opponent, because your presence speaks before your performance even does. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets.
The beauty of humankind is that we make mistakes, then we can learn from them. If we are perfect, there's nothing to learn.
Gukesh just lost his first tournament as World Chess Champion. With the whole world watching, this reveals something fascinating about the psychology of success. According to neuroscience, when expectations increase, your anterior cingulate cortex becomes hyperactive, causing you to second-guess simple decisions that once came naturally. Gukesh himself admitted that handling success hadn't been easy and that he may have drifted a bit, but people around him helped him stay on track. Here's the champion's pressure protocol for handling the weight of expectations. First, protect your natural game. Don't let others' expectations change how you play. Your style brought you here. Next,
Focus on your process, not people's predictions. Control what you can control, acknowledge what you can't. Finally, remember that one loss doesn't rewrite your journey. Whether it's a championship match, crucial presentation, or high-stakes exam, success often brings expectations that can feel overwhelming. So the next time all eyes are on you, remember, you don't have to prove yourself again. You just have to play your natural game and focus on the process of what you know best. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. It's just one drink. What could be the harm? How much does alcohol actually affect your brain and performance? And should you drink even occasionally? From the wisdom of ancient India to cutting-edge neuroscience, the facts remain the same. And the latest research is none less than shocking. According to Ayurveda, alcohol is a slow poison that doesn't kill you immediately, but depletes ojas, manas, and sattva. In parallel, centuries forward, modern neuroscience has found that any amount of alcohol, even what we consider as moderate or social drinking, changes the brain's neural pathways. In a study published in a well-reputed journal called Nature, areas like the frontal, parietal, and temporal cortex show shrinkage in grey matter volume for people who consider themselves as light drinkers. Degradation of these brain areas can affect your reasoning, memory, and emotional regulation over time. Even increasing alcohol consumption from half a glass to 1 glass makes your brain age by 2 years. It's like your brain is slowly dissolving one drink at a time. Consider to replace drinking with natural highs like endurance runs and euphoric breathing techniques. Try 0% beverages for similar tastes. Refrain from peer pressure and address your emotional triggers. Even just one drink can reduce your intellectual capacity and fry your neurons, leaving you behind in the mental race. Follow for more brain-boosting performance hacks.
Join me as I take you through a therapy session to help an athlete overcome their anxiety. I get really nervous while playing. What happens? Palms start sweating, heart beats faster, too nervous to think, my mind goes blank. Every time? Why do I ask this question every time? If the answer is yes, then the person faces a generalized anxious response to all kinds of performance pressure. The solution is deep breathing, meditation, and a general confidence-boosting journaling practice. But if they would have said, no, not every time, right when I see the opponent, or right before the bowler changes. Now this anxiety is tied to a particular trigger. I want to explore that trigger because maybe his confidence is fine, but it's just that moment that's causing the problem. So let's discuss. It happens with any opponent? No, just this one guy. Why just this one person? He's beaten me before a couple of times. Now we found a link to the anxiety. The trigger is a person who acts as the source of anxiety. I won't be able to do it again because I hadn't beaten him earlier. Now the solution would be a self-reflection exercise or journaling technique to help this athlete fight their fear of this particular opponent and increase their self-belief of why they can beat them despite having been beaten by them before. And that's why I asked, does it happen every time? I hope this helped you. You can use this to reflect on your own performance too. Does your anxiety come up just all the time, or are there specific triggers? What if I said that India's chess champions who just won the 45th Olympiad gold possess a mental superpower hiding in plain sight for centuries? From the strategic mindfulness of ancient sages playing chaturanga to the laser focus of our young chess champions, unwavering concentration has been the secret mental weapon. Imagine a brain so finely tuned that it can process millions of possibilities in seconds, anticipate moves 10 steps ahead, and remain calm under immense pressure. That's not science fiction. That's the brain of a chess grandmaster. A remarkable study in Frontiers in Neuroscience found that chess players show greater gray matter volume and functional connectivity in decision-making areas of the brain, making them incredible at conserving and deploying mental resources. Here's your mental stamina training regime, the 4P method. 1. Practice mindfulness, daily meditation to strengthen those attention muscles. 2. The Pomodoro technique. Work in focused 25-minute bursts with short breaks. 3. Progressive overload. Gradually increase focus duration over time. 4. Proper fuel. Optimize nutrition and hydration for brain endurance. This isn't just about winning chess games. It's about unlocking your brain's hidden mental reserves for peak performance in any field, like ancient strategists and modern champions. Ready to train your brain for goal-winning stamina? Follow for more insights into sports psychology and neuroscience. What if you could literally rewire your brain for peak performance? Welcome to the cutting-edge world of neurofeedback. From ancient yogis achieving transcendence to today's elite athletes, mastering the mind has always been the ultimate game changer. Picture this: an Olympic archer trains not just their aim, but their brainwaves. This isn't science fiction, it's neurofeedback, the latest biohack in sports performance. Here's the mind-blowing part.
Neurofeedback allows you to see your brainwave patterns in real time and learn to control them. It's like a Fitbit for your brain. A review in the Journal of Brain Sciences found that after just 20 sessions, athletes showed significant improvements in focus, stress management, and overall performance. Here's how this game-changing biohack works. Sensors pick up your brainwave activity. The computer translates it to visual or audio feedback. You learn to control the feedback, training your brain into optimal patterns. Your brain learns these patterns, applying them in real-life performances. This isn't just meditation 2.0, it's precise brain training. You're literally sculpting your neural pathways for peak performance, tapping into the same mental states that champions and meditation masters achieve. Take off the headset, but keep the brain supercharged. You've just unlocked your mind's true potential. Curious about this ultimate brain biohack? Stay tuned if you're ready to level up your mental game, and follow for more cutting-edge performance hacks.
What this BMX rider reveals about confidence is something most people completely misunderstand. According to neuroscience, elite performers enter a state where the brain's fear center, the amygdala, quiets down, creating confidence based on evidence, not hope. Here's the authentic confidence protocol to build genuine self-belief. First, track your capabilities and progress. Maintain a diary or journal of your daily wins, strengths, and weaknesses to have a self-awareness that fear can't break down. Next, read your list of strengths before a big performance to fall back on concrete evidence that your brain can trust. Real confidence isn't thinking that you can do anything, but knowing precisely what you can do based on your personal data. Don't fake it to your brain, prove it. Finally, add a detailed visualization, but only once you've done the previous exercise. Mentally rehearse your execution in high-pressure situations daily, not just the day before your performance. Do it until your brain accepts it as a familiar experience. Whether it's extreme stunts, public speaking, or your next big performance, before your next big moment, ask yourself, is my confidence built on wishful thinking or actual evidence that I've prepared properly? True confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the presence of proof that you can handle whatever comes next. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets.
What if I told you that the 30 million fans that crashed the Coldplay ticket site were not just chasing music, but a powerful brain transformation? From the healing ragas of ancient India to Coldplay's chart-topping hits, music has been rewiring our brain for millennia. Take Fix You by Coldplay. It's not just a song, it's a neurochemical symphony in your brain. Here's the mind-blowing part. Listening to music that you love can release dopamine, our feel-good neurotransmitter, giving you a natural high similar to food and drugs. A groundbreaking study in Nature Neuroscience found that by anticipating and listening to music can increase dopamine to up to 9%, explaining why millions were glued to those screens for their Coldplay tickets. But if you can't reach the concert, here's how you can still hack your brain. Choose songs that resonate with you emotionally, like Coldplay's hits. Use specific music to set your mood before important tasks. Create playlists for different activities to boost performance. Engage in active listening to get the most neurological benefits. This isn't just entertainment, it's a precise emotional engineering. You're literally conducting a neurochemical orchestra in your brain, tapping into the same power that ancient healers and modern artists harness for emotional catharsis and peak experiences. So go ahead and press play. You're not just hearing music, you're upgrading your brain's emotional landscape. Ready to neurobiologically hack your next playlist? Follow for more mind-blowing insights into your brain and well-being.
So I made this slightly complicated emotional analysis chart to understand what Vinesh Fogart might be going through from a psychological perspective because of these Olympics. So first off is a lot of excitement, followed by some amount of performance anxiety, worry and doubt about how the competition is going to turn out. But when she defeated world number 1, pride, happiness and positive shock. Now as she prepares for the other matches, again it would lead to performance anxiety, which could go into two ways, either overconfidence or self-doubt whether she'd be able to do it again after winning both those matches and reaching to the finals, but then on the day of the final match being disqualified for being slightly overweight. This could lead to a lot of shock, and with this comes a lot of humiliation, guilt, anger, denial and rejection, which could lead to her talking about her retirement and giving up the sport entirely. Now, as she waits for the appeal for whether or not she's going to get a medal, there will be some amount of hope and anticipation for us all. Finally, after all of this, the final emotion that she would have to go through is acceptance. Now, as you can see that an athlete has to go through so many different emotions in the journey of their performance, and it's not that easy. Not to forget the great amount of resilience that Vinesh showed when she stood up to authority multiple times and fought back after so many different injuries. Whether or not she comes out of this with a medal, she'll always be a hero in our hearts.
According to neuroscience, when your brain imagines something emotionally charged, it immediately triggers a physical and performance response in your body. Watch how the simple act of imagination changes performance instantly. This isn't just about a playful moment. It's about how mental imagery affects physical output. Your brain's amygdala, the emotional control center, activates instantly when you tap into powerful mental images, redirecting that emotional energy into performance. When athletes need to access their peak performance, it's often about finding the right emotional trigger that redirects their energy and motivation into performance. Whether it's imagining competing against your star idol or playing for your country, the right mental image can instantly shift your performance intensity. Here's the performance trigger protocol. First, choose your power image. Maybe it's competing against your hero or playing in your dream stadium. Next, practice associating this image with maximum effort. Make it vivid, make it real. And finally, use this trigger whenever you need to access your next level. Remember, champions don't just train their bodies, they master their mental triggers. What mental image helps you activate your peak performance? Share your power trigger below. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. According to psychology, when you're pushing hard and doubting everything, that haunting question hits. What is all this for? Why am I putting myself through this? That's when your why becomes your power. According to neuroscience, when you visualize meaningful moments like these, your nucleus accumbens floods your brain with dopamine, creating motivation from meaning. Your brain literally can't tell the difference between imagining success and achieving it. Here's the power of purpose protocol that champions use. First, anchor your why deeply. Write it down. Revisit it daily. Let it become your foundation. Next, start each morning with a purposeful visualization. Feel the emotions of achievement before your day begins. Finally, in moments of doubt, activate your destination scene. Let these powerful images fuel you forward. Even the stranger nearby tears up. Whether it's seeing pride in your parents' eyes, watching your child thrive, or earning the recognition you've dreamed of, keep the screenshot in your mind. And remember, when doubt creeps in, use your emotions, images, and your nucleus accumbens to your advantage. Let your why remind you what this is all for. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. When an Australian batsman taunts Bumrah about not getting wickets, what happens next becomes a masterclass in emotional redirection. According to neuroscience, when you're provoked, your brain's emotional center, the amygdala, automatically prepares for fight or flight, potentially draining crucial mental resources from your performance. Research shows that champions develop a unique neural pathway, the ability to channel provocation directly into performance focus rather than wasting energy on emotional responses. Here's the provocation performance protocol that elite athletes use. First, acknowledge the emotion briefly. Notice how Bumrah doesn't deny the feeling, but doesn't dwell in it either. Next, redirect that energy immediately into your next action. Focus entirely on execution rather than retaliation or distraction. Finally, let performance be your response. In the next ball itself, Bumrah's wicket speaks volumes without wasting a word of his own energy. This applies beyond sport. Whether in competitive negotiation, challenging workspace dynamics, or personal conflict, your power lies in how you redirect provocations. So the next time someone tries to get under your skin, remember, they're offering you free energy that you can channel directly into your next action. Champions don't waste energy responding to distractions. They transform them into fuel. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. When this pole vaulter breaks the world record and his first instinct is to rush to his girlfriend, it reveals something powerful about the psychology of success. According to neuroscience, moments of achievement trigger a flood of oxytocin and dopamine, brain chemicals that strengthen both the celebration and connection to those who we share it with. Research on Olympic athletes shows that those with strong support systems show greater resilience during setbacks and recovery. These relationships aren't just emotional, they're performance enhancers. Here's the success sharing protocol that champions use to honor their support system. First, acknowledge your inner circle. Identify the specific people who truly understand your journey, the sacrifices, and what your achievement really means. Next,
create celebration rituals that include them. Whether it's a specific gesture, dedicated symbol, or planned moment, finally, practice gratitude daily, not just in victory. Champions understand that consistent recognition matters more than just grand gestures only in success. This applies beyond sport. Whether you're building a business, navigating education, or pursuing creative achievements, acknowledging those who support your journey enhances both the process and the outcome. So think about it. Who would you run to first? And more importantly, how are you honoring them even before your moment of triumph? Remember, behind every champion stands someone who believed in them when victory wasn't guaranteed. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. Watch these 3 patterns closely.
But you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
According to sports psychology, what separates champions isn't just talent, it's their relationship with failure. 3 patterns reveal something fascinating about success psychology. About 93% never take the shot, trapped in endless preparation, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. About 6% take one shot, miss, and quit, letting a single failure define their journey. But that 1%, they understand something powerful. Every miss is data, every failure is feedback, every attempt brings you closer. Here's the persistence protocol that champions use. First, understand that preparation without action is just procrastination in disguise. At some point, you have to take the shot. Next, single failures are learning points, not ending points. Your first attempt is rarely your best attempt. After each attempt, record what worked and what didn't. Transform emotional setbacks into valuable data. Finally, success isn't about never missing. It's about staying in the game until you make it. Create your mini persistence routine. 3 deep breaths after a miss, a power phrase for the next attempt, and track every small improvement. Remember, champions aren't the ones that never fail. They're the ones who never quit trying. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. Sari, what's happening? I can't do it anymore. Do what? I tried this diet and then that program and then this weight loss plan. I'm just done. What do you mean? Health is wealth, doc. You said it yourself. Yeah, so? Don't you know food controls mood? Yeah. So when I eat healthy, she feels good. I can feel it. She feels light, confident, happier, and more active to do more stuff. So, and when I eat that junk, the fasties, the sweets, I can just tell her sugar levels and mood just playing the roller coaster up and down and up and down. Sari, you can't talk like this. Why? 95% of you is produced in the gut. So what? So that means you, the neurochemical of mood, is closely tied to what we eat. I know. And I'm just so done. Do we have a bag of chips here? No, this is the rational center. You'll have to go down to the limbic system. Hey, don't feel so bad. You don't need to feel guilty if you slip up. One cheat meal here and there is fine. I don't know. I feel I just can't do it. Try this. Make sure that any one meal of your day is a healthy one. Something rich in fiber, adequate proteins, and the right carbs. And you'll feel good. You'll be getting your nutrition from there. Slowly, you can fix the other meals of the day. So I don't have to worry about a plan? Not if it's stressing you out. Just one small and consistent change at a time is important. Okay, I can do that. Don't tell anyone. Here's a special I kept on the side. Doc, it's baked rock salt with no preservatives, so eat it within a week max. Week? I'm having it now. When you see Ronaldo's perfect execution, you're actually witnessing the power of visualization. But most people completely misunderstand how it actually works. According to neuroscience, when you visualize an action, your brain activates the same neural pathways as actually performing it. But here's what most people miss. These pathways require consistent strengthening, not just last-minute activation. Research shows that elite performers don't just visualize before competition. They make it a daily practice, allowing their brains to build stronger neural connections over time. Here's the daily visualization protocol that champions use. First, dedicate specific time daily. Just as you wouldn't skip physical training, set aside 10 to 15 minutes each day solely for mental rehearsal. Next, visualize in slow, detailed motion. Feel the weight shift, the ball contact, the follow-through. Quality matters more than quantity. Finally, integrate full sensory and emotional experience. Hear the crowd, feel the pressure, experience the satisfaction of perfect execution. This applies beyond sports. Whether preparing for presentations, performances, or high-stakes situations, daily mental rehearsal creates results that last-minute visualization simply cannot. So if you've tried visualization with limited results, ask yourself,
Are you treating it as a daily practice or just a pre-game ritual? Remember, champions don't just train their bodies daily, they train their minds with the same dedication. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. When this MLB star breaks down in tears after a fan cruelly taunts him about his mother, who died in a car accident, his response teaches us something profound about processing public cruelty. Ketel Marte, one of baseball's brightest stars, was having a normal game when a fan crossed every line of human decency. The taunt about his deceased mother hit him like a physical blow. Watch his teammates and managers immediately surround him during the 7th innings, creating a protective wall as he processes this unimaginable cruelty. Neuroscience shows that emotional pain from personal attacks activates the same brain region as physical pain, the anterior cingulate cortex. But here's what's remarkable. Our response to such cruelty literally rewires our neural pathways, either towards bitterness or resilience. Here's the cruelty response protocol that helps athletes and anyone facing public attacks. First, allow the immediate emotional response without judgment. Your tears aren't weakness. Suppressing genuine emotion creates lasting psychological damage. Next, activate your trusted support system immediately. You can't control what people say, but you control how you process it by seeking validation and preventing isolation. Finally, choose your response consciously. Meet cruelty with cruelty or transform pain into purpose, becoming an advocate for kindness and turning your worst moment into others' protection. The fan was immediately banned from all future games of the MLB, and the organization issued an official apology to Marte. Justice was
When this Olympic gymnast falls from the high bar but gets up immediately to finish his routine, it reveals something profound about the psychology of resilience. According to neuroscience, after a major mistake, your brain's error detection system floods your body with stress hormones that can either paralyze you or fuel your comeback. What's fascinating is how champions develop a unique neural pathway, the ability to process failure in real time and redirect that energy into immediate recovery rather than rumination. Here's the performance recovery protocol that elite athletes use. First, acknowledge the mistake instantly. Give yourself a quick few seconds to accept what happened, rather than denying or dwelling on the fall. Next, activate your recovery mantra, something personal to you, like just one fall, keep standing tall. A simple mental trigger to focus solely on the next immediate step and not on the mistake's consequences or what other people might think. Finally, commit fully to completion, knowing that your comeback defines you more powerfully than any mistake. Whether it's falling from the high bar in a crucial competition, getting an answer wrong on an exam, or upsetting your client during a critical negotiation, your response in the moments after the setback determine your ultimate outcome. So the next time you face a significant mistake, remember, it's not the fall that defines you, but how quickly you get back on the bar. Champions aren't perfect, they're just masterful at recovering. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets.
The human mind is one of the most untapped resources for athletes and everyday people. Training it can enhance your athletic performance, mental well-being, effectiveness at work and in relationships. It's the bedrock of self-awareness. Whether you're an athlete, an amateur musician, or simply interested in training the mind, this episode will benefit you. My guest today is Kunashni Parekh. She's a clinical psychologist, sports psychologist, behavioral neuroscience research scholar from the University of British Columbia, UBC. Kunashni was also vice captain and goalkeeper to India under-17s football and Vancouver United Football Club. Today we discuss how meditation can improve sports performance, why you should train the mind, just how Kunashni holds a plank for 30 minutes, how to develop an effective pre-performance routine, how you can incorporate visualization into your plan, how to clear psychological blocks which will be affecting your game, why mirror neurons can help you perform better, the common misconceptions of sports psychology, how to minimize the post-Hyrox dopamine dip, how you can use meditation for motivation, and Kunashni's 4 protocols for improved performance. Please enjoy my conversation with Kunashni Parekh.
When Virat Kohli kisses his engagement ring after scoring a century against Pakistan, he reveals something powerful about success that goes beyond cricket. According to psychology, Having quality support significantly impacts performance. Athletes with strong support systems could have higher oxytocin levels, which increase resilience during setbacks. What's fascinating is how our brain processes support. When we acknowledge key relationships during achievement, our brain's reward system enhances both the victory and the bond, creating a positive reinforcement loop. Here's the support circle protocol that champions use to maximize their performance. First, identify your true supporters, those who stand by you through failure, not just success, like Anushka did for Virat when critics wrongly blamed her for his performance dips. Next, integrate them into your pre-performance or success ritual. Whether it's a physical token like Kohli's ring, a gesture, or a dedicated celebration, this neurologically links achievement with connection. Finally, protect these relationships fiercely. Champions understand that genuine support is rare and irreplaceable. They prioritize these bonds above external opinions. Whether you're building a business, pursuing education, or facing personal challenges, your support system often determines your resilience. Who has been there for you when things were tough, not just when you were winning? That's who deserves acknowledgement in your moments of triumph. Remember, behind every champion stands the people who believed in them before anyone else did. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets. When this tiny kitten fights against a gentle giant, it reveals something powerful about how we handle betrayal and learn to trust again. According to psychology, when we experience betrayal or disappointment, our brain's threat detection system becomes hyper-vigilant. Like this kitten, we see danger even in those who are trying to help us. Research shows that healing from these experiences isn't about forgetting. It's about rewiring our neural pathway to distinguish between genuine threats and potential support. Here's the trust restoration protocol that helps champions rebuild their support systems. First, honor your defensive reactions. They served a purpose. Just like this kitten's initial caution protected it, your guardedness has protected you. Next, allow gradual proximity. Notice who consistently shows up with patience, like this larger cat. Let their actions earn your trust, bit by bit. Finally, practice small openings. Test the waters with minor vulnerabilities before full trust. Watch how the kitten eventually relaxes and even takes the center position. This applies whether you're an athlete who's been let down by teammates, coaches or sponsors, or anyone who's experienced disappointment in relationships or support systems. So when someone new offers support in your journey, remember, you don't have to choose between complete isolation or blind trust. The middle path of cautious opening leads to the strongest connections. The strongest competitors aren't those who need no one. They're those who know exactly who to let in. Train your mind, train your game. Follow for more sports psychology secrets.